Hello, gentle viewers. This is Indian, welcoming you to Out of the Park Baseball 21 with the Baltimore Orioles. We are coming off of our third World Championship, and I had an interesting conversation in the comments a couple weeks ago, and I got an idea, and I've set a new goal for myself. And let me show you, friends, what that goal is. It doesn't list historical championships. Well, that negates the thrillingness of my reveal, which is quite namely, I wanted to become win the most championships of any manager of all time, which is currently tied at 7 between Casey Stengel and Joe McCarthy, both of whom managed the New York Yankees in their heyday. This actually doesn't keep historical managerial records, so now I feel kind of silly. Except for randomly Cecil Cooper, who apparently won no games. I don't know what's going on with that. But in any case, that is my goal. I would like to win 7 or more championships and thus prove myself the greatest GM/manager in the history of professional baseball. Am I likely to do that? I don't know, but we're going to keep going. And I'm definitely going to set a semi-hard cap on the number of years I play as the Orioles, just because eventually I'll get bored. So we're probably looking at 20 seasons. So we have wins above 500. Yeah, I'm not likely to rank very highly on most of these lists just because I haven't managed as long as these folks have. But you'll notice I've already got 769 wins in less time than John Gibbons had it. So, haha, John Gibbons. Anywho, so that is my goal. That is the new goal I've set for myself, and I'm going to stick with the Orioles for the short term until I either get bored of this team or until I can, or until I get fired or something like that. Anyway, new season, new challenges, starting with expansion. And our expansion teams are the Austin Volts going to the AL West and the El Paso Raiders going to the NL West. No thank you. Now, I don't know if El Paso itself is big enough to support a major league team, and I definitely know that the Rangers and Astros would probably work together to prevent 2 teams being added in Texas, especially Austin, which is roughly equidistant from Dallas and Houston. I can't imagine either team letting that happen. El Paso, maybe. El Paso is really far away from the east coast of Texas, as someone who's been there for a short time. But in any case, that's what OOTP says. We're getting 2 new teams in Texas. But then again, I've also never understood the game's obsession with putting a 3rd team in Ohio. Like, let me tell you something. If a baseball team tried to move into Columbus, watch how quickly the Cincinnati Reds vote that down. I don't think Cleveland would care quite so much, but Cincinnati definitely would. A lot of Cincinnati's fans are actually from the Columbus area. Although Cincinnati itself is actually quite large and as well. But that is what we have been given, so that is what we shall consider. Last season was, as predicted, a very, very good one. Adley Rutschman led the team in WAR, hitting 36 homers. Very nice. Daniel Cabrera was still very good, if maybe no longer borderline MVP. In particular, he really struggled to hit for contact last season. And I hope that corrects itself. Because up until 2028, he'd hit over 300 every year in the majors. And I'm wondering if he was a bit plagued by BABIP. He really was. Look at this. 259 is 50 points below his career average. I have every expectation that he will bounce back and turn in another fantastic season. We had a good season from Luis Garcia. In his case, he basically turned in his 2026 season with a bit better base running. And we'll look at the basic fielding stats. And in general, about the same level of defense. Austin Hendrick took a slight step forward. He was a phenomenal base runner. He hit for a bit more power, a bit more contact, drew a bit more walks. Nothing massive, but he also played pretty strong defense in right field. And more importantly, I think he just played more often. Ryan Mountcastle's a nice bounce back season. I never should have doubted you, Ryan. I'm sorry. Daniel Corona Jr. Continues to flirt with league averageness as a hitter while displaying excellent defense. I imagine at some point he'll want a gold glove. I still think he's arguably overpaid. Of anyone on this team, I think he's probably the closest to overpaid. But he has this potential to bang out another 2026, in which case he's underpaid. He was a little bit shyer on the base paths, but overall, I think he did well. Judson Fabian would probably look a lot better if he wasn't a DH. But he definitely put up the kind of numbers that we expect from him, which is lovely. We got a pretty good deal out of Jose Vasquez and Mr. Vanderplug once I discovered that Mike here should never hit a left-handed pitcher ever. And then Jose Delgado turned in pretty solid service in replacement of Bobby Witt Jr. Now, I don't think this is likely to repeat itself. Because if we look at his ratings, he's not that great at drawing walks. And if we go back historically in the minors, he's had some issues with drawing a lot of walks, and he derives a lot of his on-base value from his ability to hit for contact. I am fine with him being our third baseman, but I think we could probably do better. So if we're talking purely upgrades, there's two things I want to target this offseason. A good right-handed hitting center fielder to platoon with Vanderplug. And maybe that's Tim Tawa, but Tawa's actually kind of slipping as a hitter. As you can see here, 2027 and 26 were his good seasons, and then he's just lost the ability to hit. Now, if he's only hitting for 150 at-bats, I'm just not convinced that he is the answer to that question. And we also need to start thinking about the future. And we really need to start considering a very unpleasant but very real possibility: a future without Adley Rutschman. I have no idea what Adley's going to want when he hits arbitration. When he gets free agency. It is fair to say he's been almost criminally underpaid, given that he is a catcher who has provided elite level offense at the position. And has consistently hit 20 or more homers, hits for a pretty decent average, takes lots of walks. I am deeply concerned about my ability to afford Adley Rutschman going forward. But that is where we are. Uh, talking about the minors, Andy Neal, did you lose that 5 points of control? You did. Andy, I can't put you in the majors. I mean, I guess I can. I'm just arbitrarily stating a fact. Um, I think it's time really to just give him a shot in the majors. I think he demonstrated that he's competent, and even if the walks per nine are still a little high out of what I'd like in a top flight starter, he does strike people out. He's got good movement, and most importantly, he's a ground ball pitcher. Um, and that is very accurately weighed by his minor league stats as well. So he's probably going to get a spot in the rotation, and that's probably reasonable. Kieran Dongo is another possibility for the platoon hitter, except for the fact that he's kind of a garbage center fielder. But that's certainly another option. And we have a few other interesting players like Ethan Wood, who might end up playing a role on the team this season. All of that is incontrovertibly true. But I would say the two biggest areas for improvement are going to be bullpen, third base maybe, and center field maybe. Now, bullpen in particular is becoming an issue because of pitchers like I'm losing Emmanuel Clace. I'm losing Wyatt Mills. I'm losing Felipe Vasquez. Aren't I? Yes. And I do have replacements for some of those guys in the minors, like Martin Herrera. If you don't make the majors this year, I don't think you ever will. So I think he's going to get a shot, especially since he's a lefty. So he's going to be in the majors this season. Mr. Kinsey Muller is rapidly approaching the point where I'd consider promoting him. I might even actually just promote him. Let's see what we can get in free agency this season. So we can mostly, not entirely, but mostly, make some changes in the... make some upgrades to the bullpen there. Now, the other thing we need to consider is the expansion draft, which doesn't appear to have been scheduled yet. I wonder if I have to pass that. Let's just sim up to the Gold Glove Awards, just so it'll at least schedule the expansion draft, and we can start planning for that too. Oh, those are the minor league teams. Okay, that's fair. I got a new team trainer. Oh, here we go. They did change them. They're the El Paso Moose and the Charlotte Dust Devils. Okay. And when is the expansion draft? It's on November 24th, which is after free agents declare. Perfect. So let's start planning for this, because I'm going to need to protect people, but I also need to check arbitration. So let's maybe start with that. No, I'm lying. I've got a bench coach with a pending offer. Perfect. Salary arbitration. Emmanuel Vizcaino, of all the seasons I've propped you up, you've given me a great season of relief, one mediocre season of relief, and then you've been kind of a dumpster fire. I'm going to non-tender you. Joe Sprake, on the other hand, I wouldn't mind locking you down. Can I get, say, like a 4-year deal, or offer you a couple $100,000 more each season? No. But the thing is, you've been consistently good. Like, look at this. Like clockwork. And you've improved each season. I can't ever let you go. You have a chance of being a future closer for this team. So here's my counter offer. 4 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How does that sound? No. I think he's very intelligently realizing he has way more leverage if I just give him his 1-year deal. So I'm going to give him a pretty healthy raise, and I'm going to submit the offer. None of you are getting qualifying offers. The only person I would even consider bringing back is Noah Syndergaard. I will offer Mr. Pelletier a minor league extension, and I'll do the same for Roberto Pena. Let's look at Clace. Clace has been pretty productive, but last season he took a turn for the worst. And his strikeout per walks in particular have dropped pretty significantly. He's already 30 years old. I can talk to him, but yeah, he wants a pretty big contract. And this is what we call Adley Rutschman money. Every cent I give to a player now is a cent I can't give to Adley Rutschman. So I'm not keeping you. Wyatt Mills, same thing. You did okay, but you probably want a raise. You don't. But you're also not very good. I don't think I'm willing to pay that much money for a soft toss and ground ball pitcher. Syndergaard, I'll tell you what, for all the shit I gave you your first couple seasons in Baltimore, I think maybe it just took you some time to learn how to pitch here. But whatever it was, you were everything we needed as a rotation anchor. You were never the best starter on this team, but you were essential to our recent success. And you really don't want that much money. If I lose Syndergaard, I replace him with Andy Neal. That's fine. I can live with that. But if someone gets hurt, I don't really have any good options in the minors. Do I bring him back for one last contract and let him retire with the Orioles? I don't know, man. He's not asking for much. Let's make this a team option. Yes, I feel pretty comfortable making this deal. It's a fairly minor raise, but he's been so consistent that I want him in the rotation. I just feel better with Noah Syndergaard as a security blanket. Steven Strasburg... No. Felipe Vasquez, definitely no. And then everyone else here can just do their own thing. I mean, I would ask Mr. Barboza to stay. If he'll do it. I have to keep Clay Fisher. He's like the team's mascot. Man. What might have been with Drew Jones? I remember how excited we were back when we saw him in the draft a few seasons ago, and I acquired him. And maybe, you know what, maybe another team gives him a shot in the majors, and he turns out to be a pretty cool dude. But man, I just don't think he's got much of a chance. it's a shame. It's almost a tragedy, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Arbitration is dealt with. Protection list time. I can only protect 25 players, and I don't have to protect anybody with less than 3 pro service years. So we're going to start by sorting by overall. Adley Rushman, definitely. Daniel Cabrera, definitely. Daniel Corona Jr. One of the interesting things to consider when you are building a protection list is, do you have a player with a bad contract? Now, I'm not convinced his contract actually is bad. No, he's been worth a few wins, and I've got plenty of opt-outs, so no, I will protect him. And I'll protect Garcia. He's consistently provided right around a league average bat with good base running and good defense. That's got value. I'ma keep you. I'ma keep you. I'ma keep you. Let's go to pitchers before I forget, which has happened to me multiple times. Jack Leiter, first, last, and always. Hendricks, Pierrette, Syndergaard, Neal, Sprake, Diaz. Here's my issue with Diaz. He's kind of a needless luxury. He's a fly ball pitcher in a park that's horrible on fly balls. And while, yes, he's provided us with several years of good closing, I also think I have several internal candidates, or I could grab a couple of bargain basement relievers. We'll think about him. Mike Reese, yes. I think Reese is good enough that I'd like to keep him. Jasiel De La Cruz is a super cheap and durable bullpen arm. 15 players protected. Let's sort by potential and make sure I'm not letting any really exceptional players go. Oh, Martin Herrera. Alex Perez? Yes, I think I would actually put you on the list. Alright, let's go back to batters. I want Big Mike. I will spend a protection slot on him. And then we reach the part of the draft where I'm just not sure who's worth keeping. So let's think. Kieran Dongo. Now, we can actually make this a bit easier. I have 25 more. I have 7 more spots. So I'll protect Kieran Dongo. Wait, why is Ryan Mountcastle? Oh no, I already protected him. Okay. Harold Cole is such a weird dude. He probably deserves to be playing in the majors somewhere. But he's such good Luis Garcia insurance that I kind of don't want to lose him. But then I've got a guy like Robert Moore, who's arguably as good as Cole, is a better defender, Yeah, I guess I'd keep Moore over Cole right now. Jose Vasquez, he's a pretty nice backup center fielder who might be even better someday. I don't want to lose that for nothing in return. Owen Cobb is a pretty talented middle infielder. If he's in a backup role, I can keep that. And then I don't want to lose Sean Murphy just because he's been such a good backup catcher for Rushman. Let me switch back to pitchers and make sure I didn't leave anybody important out. Nope. Let me sort by potential. I guess I'll go ahead and keep Ethan Wood, since I have the slot for him. And then I guess Roberto Pena, sure. Submit. So by leaving Edwin Diaz unprotected, I increase the chances someone else will take him, which will relieve me of quite a lot of salary. Because everything I have in my mind right now is how can I keep Adley Rutschman at a reasonable contract, of course. Hey, I got Quentin McCracken as my bench coach. No, I don't. Okay. I've got a few people signing contracts, which is nice. Let me enjoy a refreshing taste of Gatorade while I consider. Alright, we got Syndergaard. Syndergaard's kind of a security blanket, I know. And I'm probably overvaluing him, but it's not going to make or break me. Fans are pretty happy about bringing Joe Sprake back. Our pitcher won a Gold Glove. Very nice, Oscar. I enjoy seeing my players succeed and get individual rewards. I got my bench coach. Clay Fisher, you're an Oriole for life, dude. You love this team. Who won Reliever of the Year? I'm just curious if Edwin Diaz got any votes. Joe Sprake got his votes. Wow. Maybe the league doesn't value Edwin Diaz. Yikes. A couple more minor leaguers are coming back. We got our Adley Rutschman got a Silver Slugger, as he should. I don't think I'll get a Rookie of the Year. I didn't have any really important rookies this season. You're damn right I do. Manager of the freaking year. You know it, buddy. I mean, of course, Jack Leiter won Cy Young again. Like, why would you even think about voting first place for anybody else? But hey, 3 other Orioles got some votes too, which is nice. Jaciel De La Cruz? Like, the dude was an awesome reliever, but... I don't know. There's nothing left to say about Jack Leiter. Look at him. He didn't even pitch 200 innings this season. I'm kidding. He's amazing. And I'm just going to keep handing him money until he retires. I think I'm just going to keep backing up Brinks trucks to his house and be like, here, have some more money. I don't win MVP. It's no surprise. Who did win it? Jaron Shelby. I never even heard of this guy, but apparently he had quite a good season. Mountcastle, Rushman, and Hendrick all got some votes. That's fine. Go up to arbitration hearings. I won't have any that matter. File for free agency. Now, here's the key. Don't sign any free agents until after the expansion draft is over, or you'll instantly lose them. Alright, expansion draft. And there is no limit for picks from a single team. Just complete this draft, please. I'm going to hit no because I'm not controlling either of those teams. Did I lose anybody? Alright, so far, yep, there goes Edwin Diaz. I knew we'd lose him, and I'm comfortable with that. Other than that, nobody there. Ooh, Calvert Clark. I was thinking about protecting him, but I decided not to do it. There goes Harold Cole. I knew someone would take him. I'm going to shortlist both of these guys. I just want to see how they do. Because I like them both. I just couldn't find a spot for them on my team. Tim Tawa. That's fine. I completely forgot about him. That's alright, though. Were you? Yeah, you were on my team, too, but you're a terrible catcher, so I don't really care about that. Hey, it's old Orioles, Zach Pop and Ryland Bannon. I remember those guys. So yeah, on our Major League roster, between free agency, we've lost 7 players. We're going to need to address that, obviously. So what do we got in free agency that I can deal with this season? I could spend a disgusting amount of money for Jack Flaherty. No, thank you. I think Joe Jimenez would be a perfect reliever for us. Yes. I want some Joe Jimenez action on my team. I wanted all players, not just all pitchers. And then honestly, I will just raid the bargain bin for any other relievers we might need. Oh, please remove my filter. Thanks. Ronald Acuna Jr.? Absolutely not. You're too expensive, or I'd consider you maybe. Unless you can play third, you can't. Let's save ourselves some time, and let's immediately say, show me all third basemen. Isaac Paredes is way too rich for our blood. Nick Senzel is not. I've got a lot of money for extensions right now. I just want you on a 1-year deal for right now. And then I want a center fielder who hits right-handed. Let me apply a filter. Choose. Fielding at CF is at least 50. Oh, and because I'm looking for a platoon partner, I also need... And... Bats right-handed. Not really. Joe Gray, maybe? Manuel Margot, Christian Robinson, Mario Zabala. Zabala is a good at plate discipline, but he's not a great hitter. But none of them really are. I mean, I could just use Drew Jones and just give him a shot in the majors. You know what? I'm going to offer you a contract. And then Christian Robinson has a bit more pop than the other options, so I'm going to go ahead and offer him a one-year deal. So yeah, for the cost of Edwin Diaz, I'm already finding 3 players. Potentially. And maybe not all of them will sign with me, and if that's the case, that's the case. I can't force them to sign with me. Jake Arrieta... No, that's a no for me. No... Yes. I am an inveterate homer, and I love Cookie Carrasco. He's not a Hall of Famer. Aroldis Chapman, meh. Tyler Kleppard, major meh. I gotta go for my dude Bartolo, though. Nelson Cruz is borderline for me. Let me make sure there's not any no doubters in here, and then I can choose accordingly. Zach Greinke, definitely. King Felix, yes. Joe Mauer, absolutely. Buster Posey, without a doubt, in my opinion. Joey Votto, for sure. Alright. So we've now filled 7 of the spots. Now I can go back. I'm going to throw a vote to Nelson Cruz. I think he might deserve it. Is there anyone with 50 WAR that I've left off of my list? David Price. I'm comfortable voting for him. And Tim Hudson, of course. This is fine. I'm happy with this group of players. I will always vote for good catchers and good second basemen. And especially good third baseman. Submit. We might also do some Rule 5 draft manipulation. Oh, that reminds me. I need to see if anyone is eligible for the Rule 5 draft. I will be right back. I am back. There was an unpleasant looking bug crawling on my wall, so I squished him good. Anywho. Everyone here seems like they're thinking about it. Okay. Yeah, I really don't have much. Oh, I know. The Rule 5 is what I was going to check. Do I have anybody who I would lose on the Rule 5 draft? I could lose Alex Perez. That's unacceptable. I could lose Chris Tharp. I have no idea who you are or where you came from. But you seem like a pretty cool dude. So I will put you on my list. Everyone is here. I'm more or less fine with losing. Yeah. Dozier, I'm removing you from my direct control. And everyone in the lower minors is fine. Let's do a quick scan. Ernesto Ramirez, you had a really rough year in the New York Penn League. Let's let you repeat it. Josh Roberts, in your second year in A-ball, you did significantly better. I'm going to jump you to Double A. Give you a shot. Good Lord, Draven Post. Yeah, I am removing you from my direct control. I will let my managers deal with your shit. Oh, don't forget, I do have a third rookie league team that I'll need to have a look at. Okay, Nicholson. You struggled. I'm going to keep you there. Lonsden. And Hirschbauer. Hirschbauer gets promoted. The rest of you, I think, are going to keep working at it. Nicholson is 24. But I think keeping him at lower in the minors to develop his confidence a bit will be worthwhile for him. Mr. Gould, I'm going to promote you. You've hit pretty well in the minors. Tim Stack. You had a pretty good year in Double A. I think I can give you a shot in Triple A. That all looks wonderful. Yes. And a lot of you dudes are making the active roster. I don't think I need to specify that. The players don't love Joe Jimenez. But you know what? You'll get over it. Because he is a pretty talented pitcher, and I got him for pennies on the dollar. But I'm sorry my players don't like him, but they'll also deal with it. Rule 5 draft time. Any good deals in the bargain bin? Oh no, not Rafael Pelletier. I actually did sort of want to keep him. I just didn't care enough to keep him. Clay Fisher, you're meant to be the eternal Oriole. You can't go abandoning me to play for another team. Didn't I literally just waste a protection slot on you? Oh well. That's fine. I might well get all of you back someday. Is there anyone here that I want? Nope. I could just add you to the 40-man. Oh, I see. No, 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 no. I can't do that. I kind of want to give Calvert Clark a shot, but I have nowhere I can put him. I can't play him at right field because he's blocked there. And I can't play him at DH because that's also blocked. So yes, I don't think I'm going to take anybody. I love how you signed Vizcaíno as a minor league free agent and then immediately expose him to be drafted by someone else. I'm just going to say no. I don't think there's anyone in this draft I'm particularly concerned about. I can't believe Columbus took Clay Fisher. I mean, I wasn't going to use him, but he was the heart and soul of the Orioles, and the fans don't like losing Felipe Vasquez. I could have maybe afforded him, but we have our eyes on the future. Wow, players also don't like Christian Robinson. All right, Nick, I'm shifting you to third. There we go. Yeah, you're a lefty killer. You'll be perfectly acceptable. Alrighty. Is there anyone else I really want to chase on the free agent market? Like a 1 or 2 year deal for a starting pitcher wouldn't be the worst in case I need insurance for Andy Neal. But I've also got enough interesting starters in the minors that I'm a little bit less insistent. I'm sorry the fans are sad about losing Steven Strasburg, but I wasn't going to pay him for that much. And the fans are still at 100. Let's be real here, dudes. We've had a major run. I think I've earned enough. Can I sign you to an extension now? This is what I expected. This is what I expected would happen. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Alright. Here's what I need from you, Adley, my boy. What does Mountcastle want out of interest? He wants to get paid like a megastar. That ain't happening, bud. Hendricks wants to keep running on 1 year deals, which isn't great for my future stability, but it's fine. Oh, Rushman. You've been consistently amazing. Like, genuinely amazing. But are you worth $30 million a year? This is not a decision I'm making this episode. No. This is a decision I need to let him play the first half of the season, and then I'll come back and talk to him again. Like, here's the good part about Adley Rushman. Let's say I decide not to sign him to a new contract. I am slapping a qualifying offer on him. I am getting a first, or I'm going to get a supplemental pick for him. So I won't get nothing if I don't re-sign him. But I don't know if he can be worth $30 million a season. Jack Leiter? Yes. Anyone else on this team? You're such a good catcher, though. You're such a good hitter. But you're also already 30. And catchers tend to break down. And if you're not a catcher, you're not nearly as valuable. I don't know, dude. What if we do it this way? 20 million. 25 million. I give you back the 30 million on these 2 years, and then I offer you team options. Because here's what this contract would give me before, as I think about whether I want to sign it or not. It gives him a nice raise. And if he's going to decline, it's likely going to be when he turns 34 or 35. This gives me protection on the back end. This is, I think, the kind of deal I'd like to get from him. Let's see what he says. He came down. Wait, I didn't put too many zeros in there, did I? I did not. Okay. He keeps coming down. I need 2030 to be cheaper. Now he's going up. I've pissed him off. I'm gonna wait, and I'll revisit contract negotiations with him later on. I can stomach paying 25 million a year for him. I don't know if 29 million is something I'm willing to do yet. Especially if it costs me Brandon Hendricks. Because Brandon Hendricks is a really good starting pitcher. And I need a partner for Jack Leiter. So yeah, that's where we are with the Adley Rutschman experience. Greinke and Cano made it, and a bunch of people dropped off in their first year. That's reasonable. I do think Josh Donaldson would probably last one ballot, but that's probably it. I don't know about Cookie. He wasn't good enough for long enough. And I say that as someone who genuinely likes him as a human being and as a pitcher. But yeah, he has this 2 or 3 seasons where he's really, really good. And then the rest, not so much. Preseason begins. Yeah, Rutschman. I don't know what I'm going to do about you yet. Can I get spray clock down? No, he wants to play out the rest of his arbitration too. Which is totally fair. If I was a major league player, that's what I would do. I think there's a lot to be said for that. Owen Cobb, you are delusional if you think I'm ever going to pay you that much in arbitration. You are delusional. You are delusional. Now, you could be quite nice. You could be a nice companion for Adley Rushman. I'm really concerned about him keeping his value. That is... Oh, would help if I had my head scout button clicked on. There we go. That is the big issue for me. Is I don't know how his decline will happen. He has been remarkably durable for a catcher. But he is still a catcher. And that also has to be part of the calculus. With very limited exceptions, catchers don't age well. And if he becomes less productive, then paying, say, $10 million per WAR is a bit absurd. It's a bit absurd. Let's go up to spring training. Some player development, nothing too exciting, but a few things changing. That's fine. Spring training begins. Man, I really don't know what to do about Adley. I know I can just bite the bullet and sign him, but I don't think that's very smart. I don't really think I'm gonna call anyone else up to play in spring training unless I'm missing somebody. Is there someone who's really outstanding who deserves a shot? Maybe Gould? Nate Gould, you can have a bit of major league camp in your life. That doesn't hurt anything. Everyone else is just not nearly advanced enough. So, bench coach, time to earn your cash. Make all of the decisions for me. And I'm going to go 6-man rotation. I always do 6 men in spring training because that ensures that various starting pitchers get a look. Brandon Hendricks, you are no longer on a pitch count. You have broken through. I agree that Andy Neal needs to be kept on a pretty strict pitch count, though. Alright, game. That's everyone, I do believe. Let us advance to the end of spring training. Player development. Here comes Noah Syndergaard's decline. I knew it was going to happen. That's why I have a team option next year. I'm hoping his decline will be graceful. That is all I am hoping for. Meanwhile, Matthias Landson is putting heat on his fastball. Very nice. Very nice. Oh, no, no, no. We got to do this a week at a time. I don't want to start service time clocks early if they don't need to be. Well, we lost Nick Senzel, probably through opening day. That's fine. And we'll have him back soon enough. I don't mind letting Delgado get some more playing time. How's he tearing ligaments at his ankle, only missing 6 weeks? Is this guy a freaking cyborg? Another week, if you please. Why is this guy randomly... Why am I randomly getting a notification on him? Oh, he's on my short list. Interesting. Okay. Alright, all the spring training games are done. Now we've got to trim this roster down. Alright. Perez, you're going to the minors. I want you to have a chance to become a starting pitcher. You are not a reliever, you're a starter. And I'm actually going to go ahead and flag you as I take control of you. Now, I don't know how good you're going to be if I... Oh, no, you did pitch in AAA last season. Good. Well, you got your more experience in AAA then. How many pitchers do I have? I have 13. That's as many as I needed. Perfect. Yeah. I like it. Are you a decent hitter at all? I mean, I could make you a two-way player. I just don't think we'd get a huge amount of value out of it, but we could do it. I just think he'll be most useful out of the pen. Okay, so pitching staff is set. I don't need 3 catchers. Mr. Gould, you're not ready for the majors yet. Same for you too, Mr. Santoya, but holy shit have you gotten good. Let's make sure the 2 of you are also locked down as not being demoted. I don't like having you both on the same team because you frankly both need the experience. But who knows? We'll figure something out. Tharp to the minors. Moore to the minors. I've got my opening day roster now. I've got my 28 players. No, it's 26, not 28. Kieran Dongo to the minors, please. Why do you make me choose, game? So, Jose Vasquez has elite gap power. And he can also handle righties and lefties about the same. Vanderplug is a far better... Hey, look at that. Jose Vasquez and Mike Vanderplug are each other's comparables. You're a much better base runner. Defensively, there's no contest. Vanderplurg is just better. But here's the thing. I really like Vasquez. Maybe our solution is getting rid of Robinson. Like, remember, right? Our players didn't like him all that much. If I keep Vasquez and have him face a left-handed batters, that accomplishes both objectives. And I can maybe get a nice prospect out of it. Like, for example, this guy. Nah, I'm not going to pay that much money. David Romero is a potential starter. He just maybe needs some time in the minors. Or I could get Bruce Maldonado. I like him. I could get Carson Applegate. What a guy. No, I'm going to go ahead and take Maldonado because it won't cost me a 40-man spot. There we go. Problem solved. Now, the one thing we don't have is we don't have reliable backups necessarily at some of the other positions, but I think this is a pretty good lineup. I think it's actually potentially very good. And I like the idea of letting Vasquez play regularly because I'm still not convinced which of the two of you is my center fielder of the future. You both have different skills, and I'd like to give you both a shot. Like, don't get me wrong, he played very well last season. But I'm just not 100% convinced on which player I want. And Vanderplurg is the perfect righty killer. He's arguably even better at it than Vasquez. So that's what we'll do. We'll platoon the two of them. Let us sim up to opening day now. Oh, they gave me Clay Fisher back. Nice. Hey, I've got the number 3 prospect in the minors. Beautiful. Clay Fisher is the immortal Baltimore Oriole. He's everything we've wanted and more in the Orioles. All right. Let us set our opening day pitching staff and our opening day lineups, and then we shall conclude this episode. All right. The ace is obviously Noah Syndergaard. I'm kidding. We all knew it was Jack Leiter. Number 2, Brandon Hendricks. Number 3, Pierre. You know what? He's Dominican, so it's likely the T's probably pronounced. It's not like he's French. So, anyways. Syndergaard, 4th starter. And Andy Neal, 5th starter. Ethan Wood, you're my emergency starter and long reliever. Joe Jimenez, someone has to be the closer. It might as well be you. Just give me relievers now, please. Jaciel De La Cruz, I'm going to keep making you a middle reliever, and I'm just going to keep saying use often because you're so darn good. I don't want to pigeonhole you. Martin Herrera, you're the only lefty, so you automatically get to be a specialist. Um, then I think Joe Sprake is going to be... Chris Thomas, I'd like you to get a bit more middle relief experience. Joe Sprake, you're going to be a setup man. I'm going to try you out as a setup man. And Mike Reese, you're going to be long relief / middle relief. I think this is a very good bullpen with a lot of potential to be pretty disruptive. Look, I mean, I'm getting ridiculous amounts of value out of just burning your arm for basically pennies. I feel almost bad about it, except I don't. Okay. Lineups time. Why are you listed here? Oh, you're the one who's also a really good second baseman, potentially. I don't have any problem with giving you a possible spot in the team. All right. So let's start. Right-handed pitcher versus DH. Batting ratings. And we'll sort by contact. Daniel Cabrera is still the number 3 hitter. But I'm going to try a wrinkle this season. His defense keeps deteriorating. And so last season he was not great. Have we reached the point where Daniel Cabrera shifts to being a full-time DH? Or does taking him out of the field actually hurt us because he'll be less interested? Because Judson Fabian is a phenomenal left fielder. I just don't know that I'm at the point where I've decided what to do with you yet in terms of what position you play. Let's see how the season goes, and then if necessary I can shift you over to... No, you have really bad range. I'm going to wait, and then I'll make a decision about you a bit later on. Ryan Mountcastle is a pretty good gap power guy. So I'm going to bat you 5th. Because I want raw power in the cleanup spot if I can manage it. Let's try Judson Fabian as the cleanup guy. No, it's going to be Hendrick. Hendrick earned his spot there before, and then Fabian can bat 5th or 2nd. I know my numbers. Mr. Vanderplug. Now, who's my leadoff guy? You know what? I still kind of think it's Luis Garcia, but I'm still not happy about it. All right, Adley Rushman hits 6th. Then Mr. Vanderplug. Then Mr. Corona Jr. And then hitting 3rd is going to be Jose Delgado. Give me a depth chart. If you want Vasquez to give him spelling, I'm okay with that. I think I can live with this timeshare. This works for me. Then let's go to left-handed pitching. I'm just going to copy this lineup, but I'm going to make one key change. I'm going to go boop, and then I'm happy. And then you're only going to pitch if the starter is tired. And I'm going to regenerate the depth chart and see if you agree with me. If anything, you really agree with me, and you're even going to tell other players to back off a bit more. Fantastic. And then bench coach, you can give me this, and you can give me this. That seems great. Yep. I admit betting Mountcastle second is something I've very strongly considered. But I like him a little bit lower in the order so that he has a better chance of there being multiple people on base. I think this is going to be good. I think this is going to be another very potent lineup. Another extremely potent... Danny Moreno. We think the world of him. And it's not hard to see why. He just needs some time to develop. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put you in... I'm going to promote you. I'm going to send you to Low A Aberdeen. Because I think you'll only get good with consistent playing time, and I think Low A is a place to do that. I'm very, very high on him as far as being a possible future megastar. And Luis Amaya looks pretty solid too. Neat. Are there any issues I need to think about before we end our episode here? I mean, our team is pretty well stacked. We've got the best starting pitcher in baseball. We've got a cast of quality starters behind him. We've got an underrated bullpen, if anything. We've got a very talented offense with a ton of great players. The only thing that keeps giving me pause is the Fabian Cabrera situation. How badly am I hurting the team by letting him play defense? Because this actually happens in real life. Is you take a player out of the field and they start playing worse because they don't know what to do. Although it would help avoid his injury proneness. I don't think he's that prone for injury. I mean, he had a serious injury back in 2024, but other than that, he's been pretty healthy. Let's wait, and then I can make a decision about him later. Alright. I do want you to stay, Adley, very badly. Let's do this. How does this work for you? No. He wants to get paid a lot next season, and that's just frankly something I can't accommodate right now with our current salary structure. Which is a shame. But there's also nothing I can do about it. Unless I can get Brandon Hendricks to sign a longer term deal. Can I get you to sign for $7 million? No. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. I genuinely don't know if we're gonna be able to afford him or not. He seems pretty hard set on his 29 million. We'll figure it out. We'll worry about it later on, and maybe his opinion will change and we'll be able to afford him after all. But until next time, this has been Avindian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.